Is Goldberg really coming back? Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason, aka J-Bone of the Ramblin' About Wrestling podcast, right here to bring you the big question on everyone's mind. Maybe not everyone's mind, but something I've been thinking about the last few weeks. Um, is Goldberg really going to make a comeback? There was a Legends of Wrestling event at no, I can't think of what's it called? Where WrestleMania was it a year ago? Whatever it was, in New York, and the main event was Steiner versus Rob Van Dam, and apparently it was rumored or something that Goldberg was going to show up sometime during the event. Well, he saved RVD at the end of the main event because Doc Gallows was also getting involved, and Goldberg ended up actually getting physical with some of the guys, did his classic spear and a jackhammer, and he looked good doing it. I've seen the video a few times. You can look it up on YouTube. So, and then he grabbed the microphone, thanked everybody for coming. But before he did that, he screamed, "I'm back." And so, yeah, that bears a question. Is Goldberg really back? Now, I'm sure some people aren't really caring about this. But when I started watching wrestling again in the late 90s, Goldberg was one of my favorites. Still is one of my favorites. Hence the look, um, so I took some time, figured I would take some time and make a video discussing, if he did come back, where he might fit in the best as far as a wrestling company, or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it wrestling. So I brought up the 4 top wrestling companies right now: WWE, TNA, Global Force Wrestling. In my opinion, I think Global Force is going to be a big one, and Ring of Honor. And now I love Lucha Underground, don't get me wrong, but the more I thought about it, I don't think he would be necessarily a good fit in Lucha Underground. I could be wrong, but the only, because, if you're going to see Goldberg, wrestle again, you want to see him in a big match against someone big. And honestly, the only one I could think of in Lucha Underground off the top of my head who I'd like to see him face would be maybe a big guy like Ezekiel Jackson or Mil Muertes or something like that. So I'll give that an honorable mention off the top of this video here. Well, let's start off with the big kahuna. And not the burger. Let's start off with the WWE. Let's look at the roster and see, if he did, now this is all just big what ifs, okay? This is not, he's going to show up next week. No, because he's been hitting at comebacks for the last few years. And I think he does want to make a comeback in the WWE. I think it'd be appropriate for a big last run, but I don't think Vince and Triple H want that to happen, honestly. Maybe. I don't know. I think there's money in it, but that's me. I'm biased. I love Goldberg. So if we go through the WWE roster real quick and see who's all there and see who would maybe be a good face-off for Goldberg. The first one I see, Bray Wyatt. Skip to the next page, and you see Brock Lesnar. I think some people do want to see Goldberg and Lesnar Part 2. As I think a majority don't. Obviously they could have had a great match at WrestleMania. Was it 20? 19 or 20? Whatever it was. They had a stinker of a match because both of them were exiting the company at the time and nobody really cared. Could have been great, and it just was horrible. Um, Same page here. The bunny. No, not the bunny. And why the hell is the bunny still on the roster here? Jeez Louise. Cesaro. Goldberg versus Cesaro. Okay, I'll throw in a vote for that. We've seen him against Jericho and a few others, so I'm just kind of quickly going. Oh God, here I'm looking at Curtis Axel and his Mania getup. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is on the roster page for WWE. The current roster. I don't know why, but whatever. I guess I wouldn't mind seeing another face-off between those two. That'd be pretty cool. And there's a lot of people on here, but I'm skipping over most of them because I don't think anybody really wants to see them. Goldberg versus Cena. I'll throw in a vote for that. That wouldn't be too bad. I think those two could actually put on a decent show. I'm trying to remember Macho Man now. I'm trying to remember if he faced off against Mark Henry. I think he did. I'd have to go back. It's been such a long time. It's been over 10 years since he's been in the WWE, and I just don't remember. Let's see. Orton. I think he faced off against Orton. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Maybe Roman Reigns? Spear versus Spear? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Here's a couple options. Rusev or Ryback. Ryback used to get all those Goldberg chants. He still gets a few, not too many. Sheamus, I think, would be an option. Triple H. We've seen that, been there, done that. Taker. I don't know. Maybe. And that's about it for the current WWE roster. Now, we say within the next year, we get some call-ups. Maybe you can see someone like Steen. Kevin Owens, excuse me. But that's pretty much it for WWE, just a handful there. Now we jump over to TNA. And I'm really not seeing a lot of options. I'm really not. A handful, maybe Bobby Roode, maybe Bram. Let's see here. Would you like to see EC3 get clobbered by Goldberg? Now, I just heard today that Gunner is gone from the company. Gunner actually would have been one of my picks. But apparently he's a free agent now, maybe? I don't know. James Storm versus Goldberg. Maybe. Maybe. Who else here? Why is King Mo still on the TNA roster? Oh my God. Kurt Angle. I'm trying to remember if Kurt Angle ever faced Goldberg. I think they did. Or was he gone by that time? Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to look. Lashley. Maybe Goldberg versus Lashley. That actually would be pretty good. I could see that headlining something. Anybody else? MVP, maybe. Tyrus. Just not a lot of options. A few good ones, not too many. Okay. Here we go. Global Force Wrestling. Now, the reason why I think this would have the greatest weight, honestly, in this whole discussion is because he was actually in the ring with Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's on the Global Force Wrestling roster right now. So, I could see them building up something, have a, well, because they faced each other in WCW, but that was a long time ago. So I could see them picking up some kind of old feud, maybe. But let's look at the rest of the roster. Chris the Adonis Wardetsky. And if you're not familiar with his newer ring name, that's Chris Masters from the formerly of the WWE. Let's see. I could picture Goldberg coming out with Jeff Jarrett. I could picture him, kind of as a general manager or a manager, excuse me. Doc Gallows is also on this roster, part of the Bullet Club. Could you picture the Bullet Club just pounding the crap out of Goldberg? As much as I love Goldberg, that'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Either Lance Hoyt or Davey Boy Smith. Those are two bigger guys. Oh, here we go. Moose, who's also in Ring of Honor. Let's see. Ooh, Shelton Benjamin. That'd be pretty cool. I would not mind seeing that. And that's about it. Not a whole lot of options there, but like I said, a few good ones, a few standouts. And now let's look at Ring of Honor. When I looked at this earlier, there's like a handful of people I can see. I don't see him going to Ring of Honor, but I'm throwing it out there just for the sake of. Well, why didn't you say anything about Ring of Honor? Okay, because you never know. Well, if you pick some bigger guys, you pick someone like Raymond Rowe or Hanson. I think that'd be pretty. See, Moose is on here too. Michael Elgin. Maybe Michael Elgin would be a good match against him. See, Ring of Honor, there aren't a lot of really big guys in Ring of Honor. Oh, here we go. All right. Alberto El Patron. I didn't think about him being in Lucha Underground, but he is. He's also in Ring of Honor. That'd be really different, but I can picture it. Maybe. Oh, because the Bullet Club's been showing up in Ring of Honor too. So I'm going to throw out the option of AJ Styles. AJ Styles versus Goldberg. Just because he's the IWGP champion. I think that'd be cool. I can picture it. Maybe Adam Cole. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so that's a few options. I didn't want to make an insanely long video about this. Just throwing out some names, some thoughts, little fantasy guesses on who he could possibly face today if he was to be brought back into any current wrestling company, which is probably not going to happen. But, are you a Goldberg fan? Put it in the comments below. Let me know who you would, if he did come back in some company, who would you like to see him face? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.